All right, so today I'm going to go over functions, and functions are blocks of code that you can call, and I'm going to make a bridge using functions. So all of these steps are created with code. If I had to code every single step and then have it disappear with code, this would be a very long program, but it's not going to be long. It's going to be pretty short because I'm going to use functions to do this. There we go. And also, who doesn't need a disappearing, reappearing, moving bridge in their game? So let's go ahead and get a fresh world, learn about functions, and build a bridge while we're at it. All right, here's a fresh world. Nothing is in it. It's a base plate. Let's go ahead and move the spawn location because that's where I'm going to start my bridge. All right, so go to workspace, hit the plus sign, add a script. And then let's call this script escape bridge. Escape bridge. Cool beans. And let's make the first step with code. Say local part equals instance.new speech quote part. And then the second argument can be the parent, right? We'll say workspace. You can also do a part.parent equals workspace, but we're saving a little bit of code. All right, let's go ahead and anchor that part so it doesn't fall. True. Let's go ahead and change the size of that part. Size wants a vector 3 for an X, Y, and Z. I'll make this 12 studs in the X, 1 stud high, and then, I don't know, 4 studs in the Z. That's pretty good. Let's get the position. That's also a vector 3 because we need an X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to make that 0 on the X, 2 studs high, so it's just above the base plate where we can jump up. It's going to be the first step, and 0 on the Z. Let's see what we got. All right, there we go. Oh, and we forgot to get rid of the surface area. We want to make that surface smooth on the top. Cool, though. That's looking good. Let's just go ahead and add that one line of code for the top surface to make it smooth. All right, so top surface, it's in the enum. There's a surface type enum, smooth. All right, so if we were to add 3 steps, this is what we'd have to do if we didn't know how to do functions. We have to go Control C, boom, and then we'll do another one. Boom. All right. So this one, if you look here, we want to move, let's move our staircase up and along the Z axis. So for position, I'm going to make the next step 4. We'll go up 2 studs. We'll go up 2 studs per step. And then here, well, this is 4 on the Z. Let's just make it 5. Cool. And then our next step, look for position. We're going to move that up, say 6, and then we'll make that like 10 on the Z, right? So we're going to get 3 steps going along the Z axes, and they should be smooth now. They are smooth. Cool. All right. Well, you saw how many steps we had, right? That would take maybe 1,000 lines of code or so. We don't want to do that. That will take too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these 2 chunks of code. I'm going to keep this one, but I'm going to put it in a function. And then I'm just going to change the 2 things that need to be changed, right? That's what's great about functions, right? We'll say local function make step, right? Hit the enter. There's the end of the function. So this is the function block in here. Let's get this code. Control X to cut, Control V to paste. And I need to change my Y and my Z every time I call this so that it moves up. So the Y, I'll put a Y here, right? I'll put a Z variable here. Now they need to be defined. We can define them in the function definition. We can pass in a Y and a Z when we call the function. So this is the function, this is the whole function, right? This is how you call the function. Make step, right? Make step. And then you pass your variables in here. It'll be passed to our Y and our Z. We'll make this, what was our first Y? 2. And then the Z was 0, right? So this 2 is going to get passed to that Y. That Y is going to be used right here. And the same with the Z. The 0 is going to go to that Z. And then it's going to go right here. And we're going to have a 0, 2, 0, right? And let's make 3 steps. Let's make 4 steps. Copy, paste, 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 just so we know we're making progress, right? So this is going up by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8. These are going up by 5. Make that a 5, 10, 15. What does this look like? See, that would have already taken a lot of code. Boom. All right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. Sweet. Now you're probably thinking, hey, wait, I know how to do loops. I see a pattern here. Maybe we can make a loop. We can, right? Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Let's make a for loop. Say for I equals 1. Let's go up 10 steps. So we'll say 10 steps of 1, do. I'm going to move my end below my make step. There we go. And now I have to try and figure out what kind of crazy mathematics I'm going to have to count by 2s and 5s. You could probably figure that out, but I'm going to show you a simpler way. It's going to be simpler when we start moving the bridge too. Go ahead and make a variable that is going to be seen throughout the script. And we'll call that cur y for the current y position, cur z for the current z position. Actually, and let's initialize these. Y, I'm going to initialize it to 2. I think I'm going to put this on another line. I'll say local cur z. We'll make that, what's that? Starting at 0, right? Cool. All right, so then we have our cur y here and our cur z here, right? So now that's a 2, that 2 gets passed to here, and then that gets passed to here. It's getting a little crazy, I know. It's going to take a while to get used to it if you haven't done this stuff before. All right. So now when we make a step, let's update our current y by the old current y plus 2, right? And then we're going to do the same thing for the current z, right? Cur z equals cur z plus 5. And if you remember from the other video, I had that plus equals so that you don't have to have that cur y here. But I'll just keep this simple because we have a lot of new stuff going on anyway. So now we're going to have 10 steps. Cool. You can see this unraveling, right? You can see this where this is going to be useful. All right, now what do we do? Let's say that you can't change the color inside the function for some reason. Maybe they're doing something with the game and some event's going to change the color. You don't want it in make step. Well, if you try to change the color down here, part brick color equals, we'll say random, right? Random, no bueno. See that? Unknown global part. That's because this part, the scope is only inside the function. We made it local to the code block, which is the function. These we can see everywhere in the script, but this part right here, we can only see in the function. But what we can do is we can return that part, and then we could capture it by making another variable here, right? Part make step. Look at that. The red line went away, right? Because when we called this, it fired this, this block of code, creating a part, returns the part, and then gets stuffed into here. And this doesn't have to have the same name, right? I can call this a P for part. It doesn't have to be because it's a variable. We just defined it, but it should make sense, right? And one more thing you should pay attention to, the way I have this set up, when the script runs, it needs to see the function definition prior to being called. What do I mean by that? If I go like this and I put it down here, it's red. It doesn't like it. It needs to be above it. Oh, but there is a shortcut. I don't recommend doing this, but I see Roblox scripts do this all the time. You can get rid of the local, and that will fix that problem. Like I said, I don't recommend it. I'm just going to do a Control Z to put that code back. I recommend always having local in front of the function and then just doing it in order, right? Keeps your code much more neat and orderly, easier to read and maintain. Cool. So now let's check to see if our colors are changing in our steps. And they are. Sweet. Now, let's make the flat part of the bridge. If I copy this and I paste it, let's make this, I don't know, 12 steps maybe, 15 steps. 15 steps. We don't want it to go up, so the Y is not going to increase. We want to keep it the same. You could delete this line of code, but I'm going to show you something. So I'm just going to add a 0 to it, which means nothing's going to change. This is the old value, this is the new value. They're actually going to equal because 0 is nothing, right? This right here, we'll keep that there. That's fine. We're going to keep it moving forward. And then how do we move it down? Let's copy this. Paste it. Now we're going to move down, so we need to reduce our Y. I actually have to add a step though, because right here, when we were going up, we added a 2 before we made the next step. So when this fired, this was actually 1 step higher. I couldn't think of an elegant way to do that without putting some complicated if statements in there. So I said, you know what? That's okay. We'll just add 1 extra step going down. Now when we run this, we have the bridge. Hopefully. Yeah, there we go. We got a nice little bridge going. Let's check it out from a distance. Pretty cool, right? That didn't take a lot of code. But check this out. If you're paying attention, you're like, hey, look at that. That chunk looks so much like that chunk. It looks so much like that chunk. We should make another function. So we will. I'm going to put it below make step because I'm going to call make step in this function. I'm going to say local function make section. And I'm going to grab one of these blocks of code. Why not this one? Control X to cut. Control V to paste. Let's get rid of all this. We're going to clean it up. All right, now what do we have to change? Well, the cur Y and the cur Z, I don't want this changing inside the function. I want this function to be totally encapsulated so that the only thing that's changed is returned and the only thing that is used is passed in here or defined inside here, right? Keep it encapsulated. So this cur Y is not working for me here. I want to put another Y and a Z. I'm going to make that Y and Z, Y, Y, Z, Z. Now, when I call my section, make section, I will pass in the cur Y and the cur Z. Although, if you've noticed, these are going to be changing and it's not going to change these values because of the way we're passing them in. And I'll do something on pass by value, pass by reference later. But just know that if we change them in here, just as simple variables, it's not going to change outside the script. So we need to return the new Y and Z. And then we're going to capture the new Y and the new Z. Whoops, did I get rid of my make section? I did. Make section. I'm going to capture them here. So when we return this Y and this Z, they're comma delimited. In Lua, you can return more than one value. The Y is going to go here, the Z is going to go here. So these are the old values going in. These are the new values when we complete our function. What else do we have to pass in? Well, we need a change in Y, right? That was the big thing. We need a delta Y. I'm going to call this Y delta. Delta is often used for the change of. So this is going to be the change of Y. That is going to go right here, Y delta. And what else do we need? This is going to vary. This is the number of pieces. Number of, I can't spell pieces. Steps. I always get the I and the E confused on pieces. So number of steps, put that there. Look at that. Now we need to pass those values in here. The first time we call this, we want the change in y and delta to be 2, the y delta to be 2. The steps are going to be 10. Cool. Let's go ahead and copy this. Paste, paste, right? This is the flat part of the bridge, so y delta is going to be 0. We're going to make it 15 steps, and then we're going to go down 11. Sweet. Let's go ahead and play it. It should look exactly the same, but now we reduced our code quite a bit. Oh, it went up. Look what I forgot to do. That's kind of cool too, though. I forgot to put a minus sign right here. Boom, minus sign. I kind of like that. Maybe I should have just gone with that. All right, so it goes up and down. That's cool. Well, I want to do my island thing, right? I'd have to put the islands up. Yeah, I regret not doing that. Anyway, we'll do it this way. Cool. All right, so now we got that. We can make several bridges, right? We can make several bridges. All right, so let's make 3 bridges. Let's wait till we get in the game so we can see it form. We can do the wait here because nothing in this script is going to fire until we get to this point. Make section fires, and then that's going to call the make step, and the make step's going to fire. So down here is where all the action's at. We'll put the wait down here. Do this wait, and then I'll say, let's get this for loop. Yeah, there we go. For I equals 1 to 3, and steps of 1, do. Let's copy this. We could make this go forever, right? That'd be that would take a little too long. Cool. Then when we get to the bottom, let's make it wait. I don't know. Well, we're still in construction mode, so let's just do like a 1 second wait, maybe 2 second wait. All right, another thing we want to do is that y value that caused us to have to add another step is also going to be an issue at the end of the code here. So the bridge is going to start slightly lower every time. If you don't believe me, you can play with it. But what I'm just going to do, rather than do another if statement to check to see if it's the last step, I'm just going to reset y to 2. And I'm also going to get z, and I'm going to do a plus equals, or I could do I'll do it the old way, right? Cur z equals cur z plus, say, 10, right? And that way it's going to move that bridge out a little bit. That'll be cool. Let's take a look. Let's see what we got. There's our bridge. There it is. There's the other bridge. There's the third bridge. All right. I want these bridges to disappear after time. So I want to put a delay in construction so I could see them being built. And then I'm going to put a debris service to mark them, give them a time to live. I'll say 8 seconds. They can live for 8 seconds. How do we do that? Well, to slow down the construction process, what we can do is we could just do a wait, say 0.1 second every time we make a step. To give them a time to live, we'll get the debris service, game get service, debris, and then when we make the step, we'll say debris colon add item. We're going to add the part and we're going to give it a time to live. I'll give it 8 seconds to live, right? Then down here, we actually have to make our wait longer here. But before I do that, I'm going to get the printout. I'm going to do a printout of my current Z so I can make islands. Current Z. Let's do that. So go here, output, play. We're going to get a bridge. There we go. There's our bridge. See how it's slowly being created. Our current Z is at 190. The next one will be at 380. And the last one will be at 570. So let's turn this off, go to our base plate, delete the base plate, add a part to space. We'll call this island, right? And then the island, we'll make the size of the island 50 by 1 by 50. Cool. We'll position it. First one will be 0. I'll actually make this negative 0.5 and 0. So that way we'll actually be able to stand on the 0, 0, 0 part of the bridge, of the island, right? Let's make sure collisions are off. We'll hit a Control D to duplicate in place so that we have 4 islands. So I did 3 duplications. The next island, I am going to make that, anchor them all. Hold on. Select all of them, anchor them. Now, go to the second island. We're going to go to the position. And on the Z, we can open this position, right? On the Z, if you can see that, we're going to make that 190, right? That's going to be where our first bridge ends. There it is up there. Go to the second island. That's going to be 380. Second island, that was third, right? Go to the fourth island. That's going to be 570. Cool. Now we got those islands. Make sure they're anchored or they're going to disappear. They're going to fall from the sky and then you're going to die before the bridges form. All right. Now, just to make the game more fun, let's make the wait time 14 seconds. So we made 14. Yeah, give enough time to get over. 14 seconds. We can reduce this. Let's leave it like that. Let's go ahead and play. I think we got everything. This is just testing now. You're done. There we go. Run, 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 run before it disappears. That's a pretty big bridge. Yeah. Whew, that's pretty close. We get another one. 14 seconds was kind of long. Should put a little alarm on there. Or maybe a little button to make it go. That would be cool too. Maybe we could do that in our functions. Ah, no! Maybe increase that time a little bit. Anyway, I thought that was a pretty good way to learn functions. And let me know if you have any questions. I think we covered everything. We have the variables coming in, the return values coming out. It should be pretty conclusive. And then, then you can add these bridges too. That'll be cool.